We've been doing... There we go. I think that signals the live stream, doesn't it? Welcome to everyone on the live stream tonight as well. So as I was saying, ASYNC has been going since around 2011, if I remember correctly. We are a web tech meetup in Brighton and Hove. I think that makes us one of the longest standing web tech meetups in the UK, which we're kind of proud of. And it's really lovely to see you all here tonight. We are here in this beautiful projects. Silicon Brighton have provided us a whole bunch of equipment, etc., and always their support. But really tonight it's Nikhil over there who is volunteering his time and his energy and his completely indomitable enthusiasm, which I'm so grateful for. So thank you, Nikhil, for doing this all. And I hope that you've all had a chance to have some pizzas. Wow, those pizzas did go. Hey, wow. We also have plenty of drinks in the fridges, and that's all thanks to Puck. And I'm not going to say too much about Puck because we have Chris from Puck tonight who's going to be doing a talk a little bit later. But thank you so much for sponsoring tonight, Chris. Really appreciate it. Okay, very important. We have a code of conduct. There is the code of conduct. You can either type it into your web address, you can scan the QR code. It boils down to please be excellent to each other. There is me, there is Jake. Can you put your hand up, Jake? There is Tom over there, if you put your hand up. If anyone makes you feel uncomfortable tonight, please come and talk to one of us three. We will sort it out. So, I think we have one more slide, is that right? Yes, we have an async Slack community. If you are at all local, please join it. There's a wonderful bunch of folks there. We have coding help channels. We have general chit chat. Even if you're not local, please feel free to join it as well. But that's the best way to keep up to date with all of us. And without further ado, I think we're about ready to start. So speakers, I am going to announce who is coming up next. Just before I announce the speaker, and if your name comes up, if you could go and speak to Nikhil, that'd be fantastic, and he'll get you all mic'd up like the professional outfit we are. So Martin, if you could pop over to Nikhil at some point to get yourself mic'd up, that'd be fantastic. And then once you're done speaking, just go and give your mic back to Nikhil. Okay. That's all the points of order done. Please could you give a huge round of applause to Daz, our first speaker of tonight.
Hello, everyone. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about a side project of mine. It started here. Don't know if anyone can recognise what this is, but this was Glastonbury 2005. It's quite a muddy one. And yeah, these years of going to Glastonbury and trying to buy tickets really created a sort of interest in me in like how to fairly sell tickets online. I don't know if anyone's tried to buy Glastonbury tickets, but back in the day, you know, we always used to be on texting each other, like all our friends trying to get through, and like one person would be able to get through, and then somehow their IP would be whitelisted, so you'd be like getting other people's tickets or something. I don't really know how it worked, but it did. Yeah, create a sort of interest in me about how to sell tickets online. So I was thinking like, what makes a good side project? So obviously like for me it's like about learning something, some clear learning goals, but also solving a real problem. And in 2019, I got involved with helping organise a party, which we knew was going to be popular because it was an after party for another event that definitely was sort of selling out. So we had this problem of like, we knew we'd have more people to sell tickets to than we had tickets available. So I had a real problem to solve and had interest. So so this seemed like a good one. I did research the ticket services that were out there though. I couldn't find anything that was suitable because they were all either quite expensive, charging high booking fees, or they were holding on to the money till after the event, or you know, just too complex for what we needed. So I thought I'll just build something simple. So yeah, I'd spent most of the sort of 19 years before that building sort of back-end or sort of server-side apps. And a few years before, I'd got into doing single-page apps. And at this point, I was using Angular quite heavily. So I wanted to use that, and I wanted to try doing this without a back-end. Whoa. Hello? So just hold it there. Ooh. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to try and do this without a back-end and do it serverless without servers. So yeah. And then, yeah, managed to get something working. Several megabytes of JavaScript. But it did work. Quite a lot of problems with not really knowing where it was running, and like some mobile phones not supporting certain things, and so yeah, had some issues. Used it twice and then forgot about it for a while. Came back to it 2.5 years later for another party, and yeah, couldn't get it to build. I'd got an Apple Silicon now. One of the dependencies in the Angular build thing was wasn't supported. Like some of the packages had been yanked. It was just, yeah, a nightmare. So yeah, obviously decided to rewrite it in Rust. I did actually remember on the way down here that there was a bit of the story in here where I actually tried to rewrite it with React, but I think like that was so traumatic I blocked that from my memory. Like it was a side project, so I was working on it like not very often, and every time I go back to it, I think React had got a new way of doing state management or writing components or something. It was just, yeah. So yeah, and I missed writing server-side apps, so I went back to server-side, and it worked. A lot simpler, yeah, a lot less complexity, just sending HTML, some forms, really nice and simple. I can see I'm running out of time, so I'm going to speed through. But then so it's not public yet. I've not let public sign it, but I have got friends and friends of friends using it. So it's kind of got out there a little bit. And yeah, I got a message. Because it was private, I hadn't bothered to protect it in any way. But yes, my Postmark email server shut us down one night because spammers had found the site. And yeah, I mean, it's not huge numbers, but luckily they cut me off before I burned through all the credits. It could have been quite expensive. So yeah, I put Cloudflare spam protection on initially, but I didn't like that, so I decided to build one myself. It's quite simple. There's a little I am human thing which launches a request from the server. That comes up with a prefix and a difficulty, which then the client has to generate a hash. So it's basically a proof of work. I finished.
You get a grace minute.
Oh. Anyway, yeah, so that's just the proof of work thing. And like, I called the site Zero Waste Tickets because I was trying to keep it simple. And this doesn't really sit well with me because of the wasted work that's happening. So if anyone has a better solution to this that doesn't that doesn't involve trying to identify fire hydrants or bicycles and things, then yeah, I'd love to talk about that. So yeah, everything's working, so time to refactor. So I'm happy with my choice of Rust. I'm happy with my choice of ASYNC. I could talk a bit more about some of the other technologies I'm using, but yeah, I'm out of time, so. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that was a really important piece of detail that I should have said. Everyone gets 5 minutes, then I will be timing you. So yeah, Martin, where have you got to? Fantastic. So the next speaker, thanks very much, Martin, will be Pete. Where are you, Pete? There you are. Fantastic. Do you mind going and get yourself mic'd up? Okay, so I think we're probably ready to go. Please give a huge round of applause for Martin.
Okay. Who am I? I'm Martin Winkler. Is this working? Yeah. Martin Winkler. I'm maintaining UI widgets for FAZ, the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, which is a large German newspaper. I'm not maintaining all the UI widgets. They have quite a lot, but a big chunk. And in my everyday work, I get lots of interesting problems to solve. Why? So the situation I had is I needed a scroll container, replacing an old React component that wasn't customizable, so accessibility situation was not good. I rewrote it completely, scroll container with scroll snapping. I needed to sync another UI element, and I used the experimental scroll snap events, which worked wonderful, but there's a problem. They currently only work in the Chromium-based browsers, Chrome at Edge, and no support in Safari or Firefox. So I had an idea to use the scroll snap event anyway and just check for support. And if this not supported, I just fall back to the scroll end event, perform a snap detection, and yeah, my solution was to clone the whole scroll container with all items inside into an invisible part of the DOM. So it would inherit all the CSS styles. And then successively toggle the scroll snappability for each item. Because if I toggle snappability off for an item, and it was the snapped item, the scroll container would snap to the next item. So I could detect the movement. And this actually worked. So I implemented this solution, and the customer was happy. But I couldn't let it go. So I turned it into a full-fledged polyfill. And the name is Scroll Snap Events, simple as that. Published last month. It's quite fresh. And I think I have enough time to show you. There it is. I show you. A test page I created. So, no polyfill active. Yeah. So this browser supports. Oh, where's the scroll bar?
2 fingers, yeah.
Oh, 2 fingers to scroll. I'm using a mouse usually. So, you will see that there's this small bubble showing which item will be snapped next. And this is thanks to scroll snap events. And this test page will still show the bubble on Safari and Firefox because the polyfill is active here. Yeah, but I didn't implement this solution with cloning the whole scroll container and all items inside. In the end, I came up with another detection method, and that worked fine. So I compared the detection methods here on the second page, where you can see the original Chrome-based native snap state and the snap toggle approach and my snap alignment approach. Snap alignment just calculates which item is nearest to its desired snap position. And you will see they agree all here in this case. But, oh yeah. There's another test scenario where they don't agree. Yeah, here. It's two-dimensional snapping, and now only the native snap state is working correctly, of course, and my snap alignment approach. And snap toggle approach, I didn't get it to work in this two-dimensional case, so I gave up on it. Okay.
Very cool. And very impressive, like, working of new tech under pressure as well. I am amazed. Okay, so the next speaker is going to be Pete. The one after Pete is going to be Tom. Oh, my word, we've got all of the async, how can I say this? The OGs of async. I think that's the best way to describe it. Yeah, what can I say? If you were to sort of peek into Pete's heart, you would find it's solid gold. So, so please give him a huge, huge round of applause.
Hello, I'm Pete, and I'll stop reading my slides out now. This is a interactive talk, so you'll see there's a QR code in the bottom left-hand corner. Do feel free to scan that and give real-time feedback if you'd like to. Don't worry too much, it's not that exciting. There's a little thing at the bottom that just shows me what you think of my talk, basically. So a little introduction to myself. I've been making things for over 20 years. I've been coming to ASYNC and showing silly things that I've made for over 14 years. I'll give you a very quick example of something that I've made recently. Right, this is going to use the webcam, and it's an eye tracker, so it's following me as I move around the screen, which is very silly. It's on the website if you want to have a look. f90.co.uk is me. If anyone can guess what hash color F90 relates to, you'll get some internet points. But I'm not here to talk about myself today. So for the last couple of years, by the way, I wrote this about an hour ago, so I'm reading notes off my phone. I apologize. The last couple of years, I've been running a free bootcamp. So we train people up to become web developers or engineers, whatever you want to call them, people who build websites. And I want to tell you a bit about it. So we started this about 2 years ago. And we've been taking on new groups of learners and giving them intensive training. So on the bootcamp, we try and recreate the experience of working in a professional team. We work to industry standards. We work on real-world briefs. We work to tight deadlines, and we've had some really good results. We've had lots of skilled and motivated people who are ready to work, basically. Several people who've finished the bootcamp and are already working professionally in the industry. Hello, Nico. And several people who are going through the bootcamp now and hopefully going to get into industry very soon. Not you, Ali, you've been working for years. Can I have that time back, by the way? Most importantly, from my perspective, is the folks who come on the bootcamp don't pay to come on the bootcamp, so they do it all for free. We're funded by the local authority. So if any of you want to get into the industry and you live in Brighton and Hove or West Sussex, come and have a word, or I'll have a QR code at the end, and you can come and do this for free. So I've got a few things that, a few reflections that I thought you might find interesting, just things that I've learned myself from helping people learn how to code. And you might find this useful if ever you do similar. So if you're ever helping a junior learn how to code or something similar like that, maybe a few tips for you. So the first one is, I found to really understand something, it really helps to help someone else learn it. So sometimes you might feel like you've got a complex concept that you think you understand, whether that's the unidirectional data flow in React, or immutable state in Redux or Zustand, or database normalization, RESTful API design, whatever it is. You feel like, I think I know how to do it. I understand it myself. But have you ever tried to explain that concept to someone who's never heard of it before, and then managed to not actually confuse them? Yeah, there you go. The laugh suggests it all. So pretty soon you realize that actually to put it into some sort of logical, coherent order takes a lot of thought and a lot of prep. You need to explain things bit by bit, provide examples along the way, it's pretty useful, and then maybe have create a proof of concept at the end to actually show that you've cemented that knowledge. Learning the fundamentals. So when someone is learning, don't just focus on learning a specific language or framework. The fundamentals behind that are far more important. Many of you are aware that how quickly the web development ecosystem evolves. So it's done so for decades, and I assume it will continue to do so, at least until AI takes over. I've seen the documentary, The Terminator. I know what's happening next. But on our bootcamp, we try not to focus too closely on any specific technology. We're more interested in people learning the fundamentals, things that don't change, even if you were to move to a different framework or a different language. So we're helping people to learn how to learn independently and think like a developer and develop skills like debugging and problem-solving skills. We think that sets them up for a successful career. Ali, I'm going to go 30 seconds over, I'm sorry. Soft skills, we think soft skills are really important as well. So we in the industry absolutely focus on technical skills, and you need those technical skills, but we see job adverts all the time as like, oh, I've got to have 17 years experience integrating chatty Jeeps into some useless application. So in our bootcamp, we actually focus on soft skills that we think are fundamental for success. How to communicate with others, both technical and non-technical people, collaboration skills, working in an agile way, working to briefs, working to tight deadlines. Companies can train juniors on the specific skills they need, but if someone doesn't have those communication skills, if you can't work with others, you're not going to be a success. So I hope you found that useful and interesting. For people who are looking to break into the industry, scan that QR code, it will take you straight to our course, and come join us on the next intake. It starts in January. It's 2 days a week for 12 weeks. For anyone who already works in the industry, and I've already had one really good discussion tonight, please get in touch with us. There's my email address right there, because we're desperate for guest speakers, mentors, just people who do this stuff already, who could come and influence the next generation. Come and share your knowledge. It's a fun, wonderful thing to do. And basically, a plug. If anyone has any jobs, we've got a load of juniors who are brilliant. You can come and chat to them afterwards. Sorry, you guys, I'm embarrassing you. Come and chat to them. They're really good. They'll be finishing in a couple of weeks, and they're looking for work. So come and say hello. Right, I'm done. See you later.
Fantastic stuff, Pete. Fantastic scurrying, Jake. Tom is coming up to the stage. Who is up after Tom? You see how much of a pushover I am, by the way. Pete was like, I'm going to go 30 seconds over, so I need to lay down the law, maybe. Jan, fantastic. Are you okay to be up next, yeah? Pete, can I just ask, what was the background of your slides? I mean, I kind of recognized it. Yeah, the moon. Was it live or was it a recording? How did you come by it? How did you come by that recording?
With my telescopes.
It was your recording. Fantastic. Yeah. So yeah. If did you mention that you run Brighton? Fair enough. Yeah. Pete also runs Astro Brighton, which I recommend you check out. Anyway, I'll stop waffling. Tom, I was chatting to him earlier. He briefly mentioned that maybe he might have something to talk about, and so like a rattlesnake, I was in there, and now is Tom up on stage. Sorry, Tom. I hope that's okay. Just a little bit of holding music while we're doing this. There is some advice going on.
Pete was telling me that, and I just wasn't hearing it.
In 1 or 2 talks, folks, we're going to have a brief break. So if you're sort of dying for a comfort break or hoping for a quick drink, this should hopefully come soon.
Hey!
Hooray! There we go. Hang on. Oh, look at that. That's me. Yeah. Okay, are we ready? Are we good? Can I stop waffling?
It's frozen.
Yeah. Should I stop waffling?
There we are.
Okay, you good?
Yeah, I think so.
Fantastic. Big round of applause for Tom Butt.
Hi. So as people who see me do this before know, this is what I tend to do. I'm not going to give a talk, and then at the very last minute, I'm like, why not? So I haven't got anything prepared. I'm just going to lower the bar so everyone else can look a bit better in the comparison. So I don't even really know what I'm talking about. So, but let's see. I have software. It's called BuzzShot. It does like escape room stuff. For the last year, I've been working on building a booking system. So probably if you've spoken to me at ASYNC, I've talked too much about it. But yeah, as of a few weeks ago, it is now running bookings for Peer Pressure, local escape room site. Hey, really excited about that. And it has there's been an awful lot of work. It's got all kinds of cool features, I think. But I just added something that makes me happy. I don't think anyone else is ever going to use it, so I'm going to show that. Because yeah. So I have this rules engine. It lets you do like dynamic pricing, so you can say it's the rules about like for a given time slot, like if it's nearby, if it's in the next few hours, maybe make it a request to book rather than an instant book. Change pricing based on like evenings or weekends or whatever. But what would be cooler than changing pricing for the evenings or weekends? Changing pricing because of the weather. So you can say if it's rainy or snowy or sleet and ice, then, I don't know, do you want to give a discount or an extra fee? I'm going to say discount. Why not? That doesn't make any sense because, there we are, rain, go away. Discount of 10%. Rainy day. Oh yeah, I've done this before. It's fine. So now, let's see if everyone can see it. Oh, what even is that? So now, if we go to, does anyone know what the weather is for the next few days? Yeah. So, yeah, if I go to a thing today, to be honest, I actually don't know when it's not going to be rainy. So you're just going to have to take my word for it. But yes, you will be able to go to. God, it's not even loading. But yeah, you'll be able to go to any of the bookable slots, and it will change the price based on whether on the weather. And I think I'm running out of things to say. If anyone's interested, weatherapi.com is the place to go if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're like, I really wish I could do something based on the weather. And to show a little bit behind the scenes, I have a job that's running every hour, pulling in, right now, days worth of weather into my database. I have also got the code to put in hourly things, but I thought that was a bit confusing. Like if your slots are changing price by the hour, at least you can explain it when you say like, yeah, it's a rainy day, so the price is different. But if you're like, yeah, we forecast in a week it's going to rain on this hour. But yeah, I think that is everything I've got to say. So I'm going to give up my time early.
Okay, so just as a heads up, after Jan, it's going to be Abdullah, wherever Abdullah's gone. Abdullah? Hey, dude, are you okay to go and get mic'd up with Nikhil? And the reason there was a slight delay there was because I completely forgot that Tom had his own laptop. I think he was meant to go at the end. Instead, Nikhil, like a superhero, jumped in and sorted everything out. So sorry about that, dude. Just making life that little bit extra spicy for you. How are we looking? We good? Okay, excellent. Right, please put your hands together for Jan.
Turn this. Okay, it's on. Cool. Okay. Well, that serves me right for trying to put an autoplay video on a page. I'll see if I can open this in a new tab. Ooh, is that not coming through? How about? Okay. Does that let me? I was hoping to show you this.
What's going on outside? Is there like some really loud music coming from outside? Oh, cobblers.
Okay.
Are you able to crank the volume at all, Nikhil? Yeah? Okay. Do you want to do a little test?
Let me unclip. Okay. How was that? I don't have a good projection, so I'm relying on the mic. Is that better? Awesome. Alrighty, so just imagine that autoplay worked and looped on the page, but if you were here last year, You'll remember I was 2 weeks fresh into an autonomous browser agent using a multimodal LLM that was able to navigate through a browser through screenshots, and it completely fell over. But luckily, I brought a toddler in ARM, and everyone was focused on that instead. So I had a toddler-level browser use agent and demonstrated it accurately. And now we have a not-so-toddler level. And this was what we tried to do last year, buy a ticket on the FFConf website, and here's a quick sped-up version of it going through and doing just that. But I'll go back to the slides. So yeah, that was meant to autoplay. Apparently, I guess Chrome is a bit more strict than Firefox on these things. So yeah, I wanted to share a year on from that. I'm still doing this. It's now become a business, and it's been good fun. So AI startup for real. I wanted to share 3 of kind of the biggest lessons, condensing this way down, that I've learned along the way that hopefully anyone else venturing into this space can take advantage of. So lesson 1. AI, the whole hype, everything is all around an unstructured data tool. This is a tool for data engineers to handle unstructured data in a way we could never do before, and everything else is all a bunch of bogus. This is all it does at the end of the day, which is a heck of a lot. And so I asked my dad, 30 years my senior, he's a software dev as well. And I said, what else has happened in the industry that kind of looks like this, where everyone's kind of gone nuts, kind of gold rush on sort of new technology? He said, probably databases. Prior to databases kind of taking hold, 20 odd years ago, everyone was just kind of implementing it in file-based, and suddenly, when you were doing distributed systems, caching and all that kind of stuff became a much bigger concern. And so databases came along, and that kind of really changed the way everything was being built. And he said, yeah, and it kind of put into perspective if we don't think of databases as future Skynet in this state, but there was obviously that kind of hype train at the time. And yeah, I would condense down AI, just think of it as something that can handle unstructured data. Nothing more, nothing less. Lesson 2, role-based prompts. If you're doing any kind of prompt engineering and doing chat, what was it you called it, Pete? Chat GBs in your Apollonis, then give it a roll. First rule, if you do nothing else, give it a roll. We've turned this into sort of a real core distinguishing bit of kind of how these agents run, and that is that they adopt a persona, kind of a full psychological profile, like a demographic if you work with user experience designers, and that brings it from something that kind of generically looks great to something that suddenly feels like you're dealing with a real person when there's only a ghost, but a ghost in the machine. So yeah, role-based prompts. If you're not sure kind of what that means as well, these are all Googleable terms. And the last one from me on lessons was always condense and don't create. When working with large language models, so role-based prompting, one of the reasons that works so well is it's sort of, everything's statistical. It's basically a statistical model in there on kind of how it picks words and basically tokens to output. And so when you give it kind of direction, it gets better at doing that. The other thing that makes a big difference, you probably know the term of hallucination. When you give it a really small subset of data and ask it to do something with it and kind of create and produce a lot of content, you get those hallucinations, you get a lot of kind of soulless, empty words. Like the whole AI art space kind of just feels empty most of the time. Sorry, Jake. There's always got to be a driver. Yeah, it makes a huge difference again when you come from a kind of huge data sets. I didn't realize, I remember when big data was a big fad and thinking like, cool, it's very enterprise and very convenient, like just to make money off hoarding. That's ideal, but actually it doesn't actually pay off now, and having those big data sets that you can condense down from with these models is super effective. So yeah, whenever you're facing something, think of, am I starting with a much bigger data set than I'm trying to refine down to with AI? If yes, good to go. If no, and it's going the other way, it's always going to be underwhelming. Those are 3 lessons. So this is us, and yeah, we've been getting busy this year, and yeah, making me very tired. If you see bags under my eyes, this is it. Cool, and I'm under time as well. Thanks very much.
Okay, after Abdullah, we're going to have a quick break. So, and then I'll come and find whoever the next speaker is. Sorry, I've forgotten already. But please, for now, thanks very much for that, Jan. Put your hands together for Abdullah. Big round of applause.
Cool.
Test? Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about how to monetize art, not art, developing. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. How to tokenize developing and ideas in crypto. So yeah, I was a little bit of backstory. I'm 21. I just dropped out of university and I work full-time in crypto. I'm really nervous right now. So yeah.
You're doing great.
Okay, cool. So, okay. So package a full project. So first, you need to build a unique and cool piece of tech. For example, a bot, a dashboard, protocol idea, or etc. And then make an X account. So X, so like a Twitter profile. And then make a website or a GitHub, and then link it all together in a token. So yeah, I'll give you an example. So here's one of the examples, Polyterminal. So Polymarket, some of you guys might know it. It's a prediction website. So you predict on real-world events like who's going to win the election or stuff like that. So yeah, this is one of the crypto projects that someone made, and it's basically a way to filter out basically Polymarket and get different stats based on it. And on the right side, you'll see what it does: advanced filtering, inline trading, and privacy layers. Okay. And that's how much at the top. That's how much it made from the project, which took them about 2 days. Wow. $10,000. So yeah, this is another one. So this guy made a bot or like a fish that reads Solana transactions. So Solana is a crypto coin, and it will read the transactions. And he built a coin around it, and people loved it. And yeah, they invested in this project, and he made a lot of money. Wow. Thanks. Okay, so how to launch a token? So you create a token that's aligned with what we call metas. Metas are like trends in the market. So based on tech. So sometimes it'll be it needs to be unique, well presented, and investors will buy the coin and you make money off trading fees. Cool. So this can be, I've seen a lot of you guys or someone else do a presentation, and he said he has a lot of silly ideas. So the crypto space is literally the perfect place for silly ideas to get recognized by a lot of people and to monetize it, basically. Cool. So next. Key takeaway, good tech, strong packaging, and meta awareness. I don't know what I wrote this with ChatGPT, so I don't know what. Same, but basically, if you have a cool idea and you want to monetize it very quickly, you can make a token around it, and yeah, get paid for having cool ideas, and investors will flood in. Understand? We don't want that. But yeah, that's basically it. Fantastic. Yeah, sorry, I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
that.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. I was informed shortly after I'd said 5-minute break that there were only 3 cubicles, so we went for a little bit longer. I hope that's okay. I hope everyone managed to get everything that they need. People at the back, are you able to hear okay? Yeah. What? More or less. The problem that we've got currently is that the speakers are right next to the the speakers. It's it's a little bit of a challenge. Human speakers, if you can try and sort of speak up as much as you can, and hopefully we'll sort of get the right balance. But please, like, wave at me next time I'm here if you still can't hear. Okay, fantastic. Tonight we have Joby. Please give a big round of applause for Joby.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Is this on? Yeah, all good? Perfect. Hey, I'm Joby. I'm a full stack developer. I'm based here in Brighton. This is kind of about my fun project. There's nothing particularly earth-shattering about the actual application itself and what it does. I just had a bit of fun implementing it on GitHub Pages for free and using free stuff when it should probably be like a sort of dynamic application. Anyway, so this is my talk, Indy Fridge. So the issue here is that the local pub near me, where I live, has a really amazing craft beer fridge, takeout fridge, which means that I take way too much time trying to figure out what I actually want to take out when we're supposed to be leaving the pub, much to the annoyance of my partner. So I decided that seeing as the pub has some information about beers that they sell on their website, that what it needed was some sort of fridge search and save app that I could use when I'm standing in front of the fridge and I'm trying to make a selection that would kind of help me whittle down, like, you know, what I think I'm actually going to like to take out. So I'm going to blast through this at a rate of knots. So it's hosted on a public repository on GitHub so that I can use a GitHub action that runs overnight to kind of build a static app that creates my kind of search app. So it's built around Laravel. So Laravel kind of kicks in every night and kind of gets bootstrapped and runs a scraper which goes and spiders the online store and gathers all the information about the beers, like the prices and the hops and all that kind of stuff. It stores all that data in a SQLite database, and the reason for a SQLite database is that you can actually cache it in GitHub Pages, which is kind of neat because it means that if I update the UI during the day, we don't have to like keep hammering the poor pub's website in order to keep rebuilding the site. So you can actually use the cached data to kind of recreate the index. It downloads the images from the pub website so that you can actually see the images in the app, and so that we're not actually linking, we're not, you know, abusing their bandwidth, basically. So these are all stored in GitHub Pages and served from GitHub Pages. Once it's done all of that, I'm using Algolia because that's a pretty decent search, and it uses Laravel Scout to sync the Algolia index based on all the stuff that it's scraped and gathered, builds the front-end assets, and then generates the static site, which it uploads to GitHub Pages all within the action, and then it kind of goes back to sleep for the night. So very quickly, this is kind of what it looks like. So this is on a desktop, but it's really designed for, you know, being on a mobile phone, and it's all made with, it's all static, and it's using the Algolia vanilla JavaScript API and Alpine.js. So yeah, you can see here we're typing in various breweries, and I've kind of configured the index so that it's got sort of breweries as facets and hops and things like that. So you can very quickly go, oh, I like this brewery. Let's have a look and see what they've actually got in stock at the moment from them. And yeah, so another one, Abyss from Lewis as well. And one of the other things that I wanted was to be able to sort by price, low, high, or ABV. So just all fits into a nice small interface that works, and I can type with my sausage fingers and not have like hundreds and hundreds of facets in checkboxes, which is what the Independent's actual beer site looks like, and it's just unusable for this purpose. So the other thing that I wanted to demo, which I think is not yet, so I'm going to have to, okay, here we go, I'm typing IPA. So now, instead of a brewery, we're kind of going with different styles of beer. You can see that's a different facet, and you can use combinations, and you can type styles of beer and hops and things like that. How are we doing for time? Okay. So that's good. New England IPA there, dippers and tippers. So you can see here, because it's ordering by ABV rather than relevance, which would sort based on the search term, it's showing triple IPAs because they're higher, and it's got Algolia's kind of fuzzy, forgiving typing typo tolerance in there. So the last kind of thing that I wanted to demo, which it should be getting to right there, come on. Any minute. Yeah. So the other really important thing was that I wanted to be able to favorite stuff. So this has been really great, and even my partner's been able to like treat me to a beer as a kind of fun thing when she was out. Look, I used your app and I was actually able to find something and I liked it. But saving stuff. So I wanted to be able to like kind of save a little list so that, you know, when my partner maybe has gone to powder her nose or whatever, I can just have a quick look, what's in the fridge, and save a couple of things before we disappear off home, and I can just go and grab it. It's all very quick. So that's all just saving into local storage as little kind of IDs, path-based IDs for each of those beers, and I've set that up as a filter so that all it's doing really is just calling Algolia again and filtering by those IDs, but it feels like it's saved my favorites, and it means that it's kind of stored in my device if I refresh or whatever. So that's the repo on the left if you're interested about how it works. That's on GitHub, of course. If you would like to go to the Independent, if you're here from out of town, they have great beers. That's their website in the middle. They are actually up on the hill over there. So if you're staying in town, they have a sister tap room called The Rook as well, which is on the right. I thoroughly recommend, if you like craft beer, go and check it out. Anyway, thank you.
Joby got an extra few seconds because he talked about Lewis breweries, and so as a Louisian, you definitely get a little bit of thing. Frederick, I'm so sorry. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm so sorry I haven't said hello properly, and thank you, Jake, for giving Frederick the heads up because I completely forgot. I think I can manage to do like 2 or 3 of the things that I'm meant to be doing, but any more than that, I'm losing track. Sam, are you okay to go up next afterwards? Fantastic. Okay, so please give a huge round of applause for Frederick.
Hi everyone, I'm Fred, or Frederick, or Freddie. This is my first time at ASYNC, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to kind of tell you a bit about myself and some stuff that I've been working on. Well, yeah, let's start with myself. So I graduated civil engineering in 2018. That didn't really resonate with me, despite 4 years. So then I went into ESG data analytics in the financial services sector. Started as a data analyst, that was quite enjoyable, but quickly kind of progressed to like a project management role, which I really didn't like, really quite miserable, especially in a corporate environment. So in February, I took a sabbatical, I moved to Brighton, moved with my parents, and I wanted to explore a few things. So my interests at that time, generative AI is kind of very big at the moment. I did get caught up in the kind of crypto cycle, got burnt by that hype a bit. So like I was a bit tentative about Gen AI, but this one actually seems to like have a bit more tangible business value. Like you're kind of seeing it being used quite a lot. So I thought I'd explore that. I thought I'd also explore a bit of regenerative economics because I was in ESG and I wanted to get a bit deeper into that. But that's kind of a story for another time. How could I contribute? Reflecting on all my experiences, kind of software engineering seemed like the most sensible route because I just like building stuff and playing around. So I set out to like build my first project. There was a bit of a barrier though. I didn't know what I was doing, so I have to learn. The traditional approach to that is you kind of do a course, a set of modules, and then you synthesize that knowledge into like a project. I didn't go down that route. I was a bit impatient, so I kind of took a AI-first approach. Started with a project I wanted to build, tried to build it with AI, and kind of learn as I went. which, you know, it went pretty well. I'd learn a lot. I think I kind of shaded out the modules there because you know, don't necessarily learn everything that you might have learned before. You know, it's a different approach. Yeah, and that's the one I landed on. Examples of how I used it, obviously a lot for coding, but also a lot for troubleshooting and then kind of diving deep into certain topics. You can see there's kind of some quite basic stuff in there, but it just felt kind of more natural to me to like have a problem in front of me that I was actually like very interested in solving, and then learning the kind of technology through that way. This is a big problem for me. Maybe I'm a bit of a perfectionist. You know, I kind of have a low risk appetite, so I'm like, well, I want to build something that people could use. How can I trust it? So the first thing I thought was, well, if it works, it works. Obviously, you know, this is a quote by Dijkstra: testing shows the presence, not necessarily the absence of bugs. It works now, but will it actually work? Big question that I had. And obviously, until you actually have users, you don't really know the answer to that question, unless, of course, you kind of know what you're doing, which I didn't. So the next thing I thought, well, what if I actually know deeply what's going on? So I kind of went down this route of seeking to understand, like, basically everything the AI had written, and kind of, you know, sense checking that. If it made sense, then cool, I can have a bit more confidence in it. Also kind of checking like things that I might think would be a problem, like security risks I might have read about, that sort of thing. So yeah, trying to become like more omnipotent about something that I hadn't necessarily built myself. Another thing that I did is, through going through that process, I realized that the AI had actually like sought out to implement a lot of different solutions that all kind of did the same thing in different places in the code. And that made it difficult for me because I'm essentially learning kind of 10 ways to do the same thing, which just seems a bit, you know, just drawing out the amount of time I have to spend doing that. So yeah, I kind of got into this like process of implementing patterns. So context engineering, if you guys don't know what that is, it's like prompt engineering, but it's thinking more about the context of like the code that you're actually giving the agent. So what file should I give it? You know, what other knowledge does it need? So I went down the route of kind of saying, well, this is how we're going to do this thing, and don't deviate from that. So then when it does that, you know, because if it does it in a different way, then I'm like, well, it must be doing something else. But it's actually not, it's doing the same thing. So like constraining it like that, I found very helpful. And yeah, an example of that is I was using Express 5 and it was implementing Express 5, and it was implementing a lot of like redundant methods that were only relevant to like Express 4. So I'm looking at like going, why is it trying to do it like this? So kind of, you know, using that in the guidance helped a lot. I got really deep into typing because I thought it would help constrict the AI and like be a bit more strict about what it should do. I went to a lecture on Tuesday by the PHP group where someone very eloquently kind of described what I was doing. It's kind of this concept called closed by default, where you're very kind of explicit and closed about what things can do and what they can't do. There was a bit of an element of me jumping the gun here. I'm trying to tell the AI to use patterns that I don't really know myself. So there's a bit of a challenge there, but you know, it's not perfect, but it kind of worked. I have like a minute demo.
Okay, I might need to talk to one of you guys about it. She'll go for it quickly. Yeah, that's
Okay. This is something I've built that doesn't have any sound, which is very annoying because it's completely audio based. Oh, now I feel bad because I'm running over already. It's all the way at the end. It's all right, maybe we can do it at the end.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, Fred. We might have to,
That's all right,
if that's okay.
Right.
I told the
I
lovely.
think that was more of a tag on, like, I've said what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
No,
You remember what it said, roughly?
Well, it was a demo with an AI voice agent, so like the kind of
okay.
the oomph of it would disappear if I.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm really sorry,
that's
dude.
That's fine. I can.
Are you on the audio? So we
I can find another link to it. I think because it's embedded in the present. Oh, okay.
this is working.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, there we go. That'll do.
Didn't you just turn it down though? Let's see.
Restart.
Canva. Does anyone work for Canva? No.
That's not doing it.
I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to make an executive decision,
That's
Fred.
all right. You are the executive.
Okay. Please go grab Fred afterwards to see it. But yeah. Okay, so next up we've got Sam. I nearly deleted my set list there. Well, crikey. Afterwards, Jake, are you okay to do yours, yeah? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, we will figure it out, I guess. Okay, are we all set up for Sam's? Okay. Oh, and we're off the StreamYard again. Okay. Maybe if I just get out of the way, I think that might help a little bit. There we go. Does anyone know about computers in the room? No. the frank no of someone that's been asked by too many family members. Yeah. Yeah. How's it looking? We good? Okay. Oh. How appropriate is that? Fantastic. I think we're ready to go. Big round of applause for Sam.
Yeah, so we have the question, are your tests actually working? This is a question we want to answer on our project. And maybe your first answer is, of course it's working. That's what the green ticks are for. But when we focus on this, we're using PyTest as a Python project. And what that green tick tells us is basically that it found a test, at least one, and it didn't fail. It's not really the answer we're looking for. And if you're using the Windows runners on GitHub, sometimes it doesn't even mean that when we found out that our tests were failing for a couple of weeks and it was still green. So your second option, you might be thinking about project coverage. You've got code coverage on your project, and if your tests are not working, your coverage should come down. Except if you're doing a very well-covered project, you've got a lot of tests, and actually you could probably wipe out anywhere between 20 and 80%, I reckon, on our project of our tests and not have any change in our project coverage. So the solution that we came up with is test coverage. So we're doing code coverage, but actually on our test files. And so the first thing you'll notice here, this is when we actually added it. So our coverage of our test files is 95.8%. That is about 800 lines of code in our test files which are not being run. Why are they in our test code? So this is some of the examples we have. So this is from a Python project. Some of these might not apply to the language of your choice, but there are probably other examples that don't apply in Python. So for PyTest, you need to prefix your names with test underscore. So here we've got some names that somebody's done with prefix with test underscore test, or just no prefix at all. None of these tests are running at all. So they've been in the project for a decade. Some of them were working, some of them needed fixing, but I should point out that this is a project that's been running a decade or two and has hundreds of thousands of contributors. So this is the sort of things that you'll find cropping up over time. We found unused code. These are just some little functions, helper functions or something. fixture as well, just unused. They just weren't referenced anywhere, so they're unused. So just delete the code and get rid of that. This is a subtle one, which is quite difficult to notice if your tests aren't right next to each other. But if you find one test with the same name as another test, it's redefining the first one, so the first one doesn't get run. Missing dependencies. This is something we have in our project to mostly help downstreams who need to run our tests when they repackage our library. So we're basically depending on this other library. If that other library isn't there, it skips it. But we forgot to install it in our test environment, so none of those tests are running. Here we've got skips. Like on the left, you've got this thing where it tries this thing, and if it fails, it skips. Again, it's one of those things to help downstream packages. Like it's not too important for them to run it, but it would help if we are running it. But apparently, we didn't set up our test environment correctly for these tests, so they weren't running. Fixtures. If you're not familiar with PyTest, you can have these fixtures which are kind of like dependencies that get pulled into tests. So the one on the left, we've got this check. If not is Unix, skip. And you can see the rest of the fixture isn't run. And then over here, this uses a fixture that's called Unix sock name. So this test doesn't run at all because it's used that fixture's skipped in. We are running on Linux and Mac, so it turns out that is Unix check was wrong, and it was just skipping a load of our tests. These are tricky ones to spot. Sort of silent failures. So on the left here, if you're not familiar with Python, because on line 1616 you've got a yield keyword there, that means that function basically becomes a generator function. So when you call the function, it doesn't run any of the code in the function, it returns an iterator object. What you normally do is then pass that to a for loop or something, and you do 4x or whatever in your function. And when it iterates over it, it runs that. You'll see just below, partially cut out, we're just calling this function without looping over it. So that's why none of the actual test code is running. So this test is actually testing nothing at all. And the one on the right, we've got some tricky thing here where we're checking that we get a timeout error, but it's meant to be running this handler, except it's not running the handler. So the client code is actually hitting this timeout before it actually reaches the server, essentially. So it's not testing what we actually expect it to test. Yeah, so that's much similar. And this is a config file that we have just to help us get to 100% test coverage. So you can ask me about that later if you're interested. Yeah. So hopefully tomorrow, the first thing you'll do if you have tests is add test coverage to your projects.
That is a solid takeaway. Thanks very much, Sam. Sorry to everyone in this quadrant, and as I was frantically negotiating with the two last speakers, we've decided Jake's going to go next. I think Chris could go next. That's what we decided. Yeah, I knew that. That's fine. Yeah, is that going to be okay, Chris? Nikhil, do we have the StreamYard all set up? Sorry, it's just throwing curveballs to you left, right, and center, Nikhil. How are we looking? Doodle-doo. Okay, so we're into the last two speakers, but these two we agreed would have a little bit longer time. Thanks for your patience tonight, folks. And I have asked if they can sort of squish it as much as they can, and this is absolutely not fair on them because I have been such a pushover with timings tonight, and I'm terrible with that. Okay, this is looking good. It's looking good. Can anyone else hear the echo? Yeah, it's not just me. Okay, I'm wondering where it's coming from. Is it? Okay, gotcha. Okay, just dude. Okay, are you roughly ready to go, Chris? Okay, so as a big reminder, Chris is the reason that you all got drinks and pizzas tonight. Please give him a huge round of applause.
I'm pretty sure that's the only reason Ali allowed me to have a talk. So, Cool, so hello everybody. I'm the maintainer of Puck. Puck is an open source visual editor for React. I don't know if anyone here has heard of it. No, great. Fresh meat. A few people, okay, awesome. I launched it 2 years ago, and my first ever talk was at React Advanced. It was an ad hoc talk, a lightning talk. But very shortly after that, I did my first talk at ASYNC. And it's been a long time. It's been 2 years. There's been a lot that's happened. I'm now on it full time. I'm just going to give you a little run through of Puck. I have no slides. I just have little interactive demos, so hopefully everything works. So this is Puck. So Puck is itself a React component that allows you to author other React components. So in the middle, you have the canvas, and on the sides, you have your kind of standard Chrome that you might use in any visual editor. So I can go into this page. I can sort of scroll around. I can say, actually, I want to change this to Hello World, make my changes. So these components are components that I've configured with Puck. So they could be any component library. It could be your internal company design system. So Puck's all MIT, so you can just embed it in your own application and kind of do with it what you want. Under the hood, when I'm doing that, it produces JSON. That JSON you can store. So if I hit the publish button in the top, you can store this in your own database, put it wherever you want. So it's kind of just this, it's focusing on that really awkward visual problem of like dragging and dropping components. I'll just make a couple more changes to show you what it can do. So this didn't exist last time I did this talk. We have multi-directional, multi-dimensional, if you want to sound fancy, drag and drop. It supports every CSS display mode, so grid, flex, everything else. It also has, since last time, this little viewport switcher at the top. So you can see how everything looks in an iframe as if it were a real device. I'll just jump to this. So this is the Puck open source project. I just want to take a moment to celebrate because we hit 10,000 stars today. Which has been wild. It's been completely wild to watch. I can't quite believe it, honestly. It's just a little pet project that's completely blown up. The next thing I was going to show was, oh, we've done that, the ASYNC website. So last time I did this talk for ASYNC, I actually deconstructed the ASYNC website and I recreated it with Puck. I actually pulled that demo up again. And I had to do a little upgrade to the latest version of Puck. That was, I think, version 0.9, and we're now on 0. I think the latest canary is 21. So it's quite a few versions. It was actually quite an easy upgrade, but just so you can see, here is the async. This is me creating an async page with these components. I've just basically copied and pasted the markup off the async website and put them into the Puck config. And I'll just show you quickly how that looks. So this hero component that I dragged in, you have this entire file is this Puck config. I have this hero component. I've specified the render function here. And I've just collapsed that down because it's a lot of HTML. But that's just copied and pasted out of the markup from the website. I've specified 2 fields, a title and a description, and those are coming through as props into my component. And when you get that, when you plug that in, you get this title, this description. Also new since last time is this content editable field, which means you can now go in and actually update the content. So the last thing I wanted to show, and I know we're very tight on time today. So is anyone here using any vibe coding tools like Lovable, Bolt, Cursor counts? Yeah, so one thing that's always bugged me with those tools is that they produce code that you can't necessarily trust. A lot of the time they produce slop. They don't really understand visual identity. So last week we launched, or I launched, so this is, as part of my transition into working on Puck full time, I want to move away from it being an open source project. Well, no. I want to keep it as an open source project, but I want to figure out how to commercialize it. AI has been a bugbear of mine for some time. So last week we launched Puck AI. So Puck AI allows you to build pages using your own React components. So let's just say hello. Hi. Who are you? Great. So it already knows that it's within the async context because I've given it that information. Can I zoom? I can zoom. And I'm also, if I'm zooming, I'm going to zoom this back out because else it's going to be. Great. So it knows that we're at async. Well, it doesn't know we're at async. That would be magic. But it knows that it is working for async. It understands the components that we configured, the hero and a few other components. Now I can say, create a new homepage. And if all goes well, we should see it generate a page, stream it in, using the actual async components that I've lifted off the async website. Ship it. The way this works is basically by being constrained. So again, Fred talked about how constraining AI can help you get better results. That's exactly what this is doing. So by limiting the choices it can make to your components, rather than generating new components, you can determine exactly what it can do. And it kind of makes me more optimistic about like the AI future, like, rather than being fearful of where's my job going to go as a developer. I think, well, actually, maybe there's this kind of hybrid world where we can give pieces to AIs, different AI agents, to actually orchestrate stuff. Because we don't really orchestrate stuff anyway. People tell us like where to put stuff. It understands the puck config. You can do things like, here we go, add instructions to certain fields. So I've said for the module field, which is the module component, which is this guy, which sits inside a container. For the body, I've said the body can contain markdown and a series of paragraphs. So I could add that to, let's say, to the title. Let's say for the hero, instructions, always start this with a moon emoji. It'll probably generate something completely different using the same sets of components. Yeah. So you can kind of constrain it depending on exactly whatever your business constraints are. The last trick that it has up its sleeve is tools. So I don't have time to code this out because I've got 2 minutes left. So I'm actually going to just pop a stash. Not that. Here. It does pop a stash. OK, cool. No conflicts. So what I can do now is say, tell me about our upcoming events. So what it's doing now is reaching into your own systems. So Puck AI has this concept of tools. Tools live on your server. The entire backend is basically being routed through your server to the Puck AI cloud. And in your server, you can define a series of tools. Tools let you define different actions that the AI can take to reach into your systems. In this scenario, I've basically created a get events tool, and that is getting a list of events that it can then use to, let's say, create a page about our Brighton events. It can then factor that in to its page building responses. So you can actually use it to create, here we go, International Show and Tell and Async December. So you can feed data in out of your database. So if you have a list of products or anything like that. Last thing I'll do is I'll show another set of components. This is actually our full demo rather than the async component set. So I'm just going to ask it to do what I always do, which is create a page about dogs. You'd be surprised how many people try that as their first prompt. I don't know why. I think it's just a nice, safe bet. Yeah, so this is going to do this is a Shadcn component set. So you should see it do exactly the same thing, but generate a yeah, there we go. Yeah, and if anyone wants to try it out, hit me up. I'm happy to, like, we are charging for this, but I'm happy to give you all some free credit. So just, yeah, say hi after this. I'd love to chat, especially if it's about AI and design systems. Thank you very much.
That is seriously cool. Nice one, Chris. Thanks so much. Jake, I'm realizing you are mic'd up. That was great. So now we roll the dice, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to see whether or not we can get audio. If we can, we're going to have a treat, I do believe, in Jake's presentation. If we can't, we're all just going to sit here in silence for about 10 minutes. I hope that's okay. Yeah. Hey! But yeah, can they hear it in the stream? This is weird. Like, no one else cares. But if I press down here, there's like a ventriloquist squeak just over there, and it's kind of freaking me out. Anyway, okay, that was a lot quicker. I was going to give some whole ramble about Steven Spielberg. Yeah, no, we're ready to go, are we? We're getting some AV advice here. Focus on the stream. I know. Okay. Right. There are audio rules at play here. Let's see if Jake was paying attention, and let's see if Jake remembers everything that was just told to him. For now, please give him a huge, warm round of applause. It's our last speaker for the night, Jake.
All right, hi everyone. I'm Jake, one of the co-organizers of ASYNC. You've probably seen me running around all over the place trying to sort things out this evening. And today I've just got some like little demos of songs that I used AI to generate. Now, like we all think AI is going to take our jobs or whatever. This is just a thing I do for fun. I don't make money off of this. It's just like a nice little fun thing to do. So a couple of years ago, I discovered a website called Suno that makes AI music. I'm not sponsored by Suno. There's a ton of other free ones out there or whatever, but they have a pretty generous free plan. And around the time I discovered Suno, I was contracting. And this was like when the job market was bad, because I don't want to use a bad word. And so I, in order to get out my like unnecessary teenage angst, started using this as an outlet for my issues with finding a contract. So here is a song about not being able to find a contract.
Sitting in my room, going all alone, staring at my email, waiting for the tone. Where have all the contracts gone? Feels like I've been waiting for so long.
Anyway, I'm not going to play you too much of this because we have limited time. If you're looking for contracts, you have to deal with recruiters, and they're almost as annoying as trying to find contracts in the first place. So
Dialing numbers, sending emails. I'm not even looking for fame. Just want a job on this resume. But the recruiters don't play the same. I put my skills on display, but it's like they all don't exist. They see my name on the screen, then they disappear. I'm getting pretty pissed. Why did you even bother wasting my time? Recruiter, won't you give me a chance? Calling your number, waiting for your dance. I'm tired of the silence, need a paycheck, can't you see? Recruiter, just get me a job, this is my plea. Just please help me,
anyway, I'm going to try and stand back. Then, as we all do, I went through my emo phase, which I've actually been having for about the last 15 years, and I started writing songs about things that I liked or that were like tearing me up inside. So this is a song about functional programming.
In a world of code, where ideas roam free, I found a rhythm, a melody just for me. No objects to weigh me down, no classes inside. Just pure functional programming, shining so bright.
And the emo didn't stop there. So I was working on a project at the time that, for the first time ever, in my experience at least, didn't use semicolons. And that weirded me out, and I didn't know what to do about it. So I wrote a song about that.
torn between two sides, it's eating me alive. This semicolon debate in my mind I can't hide. To use and not to use, I'm caught up in this strife. In my JavaScript code, do I end each line? Curly braces whisper, don't let go of me. But the semicolon screams, set me free, set me free.
Anyway, I had to let you get to that line because that's my favorite bit of the whole thing. This isn't a personal experience thing, but I started to move into other genres, and so I started writing some more like sad or romantic stuff. And this is a story about, presumably, a thing that's happened to a lot of junior developers out there.
I messed up, made a big mistake, dropped the database in deep water. I wait on a slip up, didn't mean no harm, but now it's gone like a broken charm. If I could rewind, turn back the clocks, I'd triple check those variables, avoid the rocks.
So while I was putting this presentation together, I realized a lot of them were quite sad and boring. And this song, oh, not boring, but just it was going to bring the mood down. This song was originally a sad country song, but earlier today I decided I needed a bit more of a range, so I've now rewritten it as reggae. But it has a, I mean, I took the same lyrics and I told it to make it reggae instead. So it's sad lyrics, but with like kind of an upbeat, beat, yeah. And this is totally ripped off from one of my ex-bosses/friends who wrote a song that was based on error codes, and I just did the same thing.
404, you're not here no more. Gone like a 410, no trace to restore. My heart's feeling 418, like a teapot on the shelf. Without you, I'm just a 451. No hope for myself. 500, internal server error in my soul. Every day feels like a 503. The pain takes its toll.
Anyway, you get the idea. There's a lot of more status codes. I was working at a company that had a like really monolithic view app that was like riddled with tech debt. And I felt like it wasn't worth saving. And I was trying to convince the people above me at this company at the time to let us rewrite the whole thing from scratch. So I wrote a song to help them understand the problem. But the song is written from the point of view of the code base.
Years ago we used to be so close. I was your drug, you always craved another dose. I was your world, you were my shining light. But now I get the feeling something's not alright. In the start you cared so deeply for me. The debugger was a friend we'd rarely see. You'd hook me up with the latest NPM trend. Now I'm just abstractions you can't comprehend. Don't leave me here in cold decay. The tech debt's pushing you away. We were once an unbreakable team. Now nothing will save our love, it seems. Every line you wrote with such care, every function made for us to share. Now I'm scared you'll finally done with me. It's not enough, I got that upgrade to Vue 3.
That is a true story. We did upgrade to Vue 3. You'll notice that I had to spell it Vue as into C because the AI really does not get how to pronounce V-U-E. It would constantly say Vue, which doesn't really work. And this final one is the one that I wrote literally all the lyrics myself, didn't use the AI to generate anything for me, and it took a long time, and I'm proud of it. And it's better if you don't see the lyrics and you just see where this goes. And I promise, although it doesn't sound like it initially, it is still web development related.
She's got those curves, so smooth and clean. Every line she walks cast in a silver sheen. Her stride so elegant, so sublime. We weave dreams together every time. She's got that undeniable style. Sometimes I can't help but just gaze for a while. Wraps everything she touches in a heavenly glow. Turn the music up and we're ready to go. Oh, but you're just a curly brace. Can't live with tabs or other white space. Oh no, you're the one I need to feel complete. Other syntax styles just can't compete. Oh, those curly braces hug me tight. Yeah. With every loop they feel so right. Indentations play their part, but it's your form that truly steals my heart.
It goes on for a while. I will just skip quickly ahead to my favorite couple of lines. It's such a small thing, but I like it.
My heart, you're just a curly brace. Oh, you're just a curly brace. You pair nicely with camel case, yeah. But you're just a curly brace.
Thank you, that's all I've got. Check out suno.com/@JakeSmith or scan the QR code if you want to see the full songs. There's a bunch of other stuff on there. There's a metal song about encountering type errors. There's a love song I wrote to React, because I like React. You'll see. Anyway, thank you.
Fantastic. Big round of applause for Jake. Can't really applaud this because it makes it all go a bit weird. Fantastic. That's it for tonight. There's a big echo, Jake. If you don't mind doing whatever Nikhil is sort of waving at you to do. Is that good? Oh. Boom, ba da boom. Is it literally just that? Okay. Well, anyway, sod it. Thank you so much for coming, everyone, tonight. It's been a wonderful show and tell. That's an impressive get out, I think. We do actually need to get out, I'm afraid. The screen has broken. I did say to the lovely chaps downstairs we'll be out by 9, and I, of course, have completely stuffed that up. So thank you so much for coming, everyone. We're going to the Walrus now, so please come along for a quick drink with other FFConf attendees, and I hope to see many of you tomorrow. So thanks so much for coming, everyone.